Now, let's hop into a little hip hop news. And this is the kind of news you can use because first and foremost, I think it was a little controversial in studio last week. And Layla, correct me if I'm wrong. When we were all talking, you, me, Tut, about this upcoming verses, and we got an article from Billboard that highlights this. Goddamn, Rick Ross versus 2 Chainz, and they call it the High Rollers edition. Now, originally, I was like, hell no. Don't nobody want to see Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. Rick Ross' discography alone destroys, if not annihilates, 2 Chainz discography, which I still think is true. But what I did not account for, which showed the fuck up at this versus, was the fact that 2 Chainz has Grammys and plaques out the wazoo. Like a catchphrase from this versus is like hashtag another plaque, because every time he dropped a song, it was another plaque. So let's just take a look at this in its infancy. The fact that, you know, they come in like bosses, they 10, 15 minutes into it, and you see 2 Chainz up, you see Rick Ross, aka Ricky Rose, aka Ricky Renzel, all kind of fucking aka. And they don't tell stories in the beginning, not, there's a very, very light intro, and they literally smash into it. How did you feel when you first turned on this verse on IG or Apple TV? Because I think the Apple TV actually has a great way of viewing this. How did you feel at the beginning of this verses?
It was a little iffy in the beginning. I went into it. I won't give away too much right now, but I went into it saying that I think Rick Ross may have this one completely in the bag. So that's what I went into it with. So when I saw that Rick Ross was starting off first, I hated the fact, and shout out to Marcel P. Black from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because he's always preaching this on his social media, talking about do not rap over your own vocals. Like, it's ass. And I feel like, oh, I get what Marcel is saying, because Rick Ross rapping over his own vocals was very annoying, and I didn't like it one bit. So I was worried, because I was like, oh God, is this how the verses is going to go? Like, I'm kind of scared. I don't know if I really want to waste, another hour and a half of my life if it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
But it started getting better. So, yeah.
I agree with that. And looking at the first couple of rounds, obviously Rick Ross opens up with Blowing Money Fast, and it goes against 2 Chainz featuring Drake.
No Lie.
And we'll come back to that shit later on. But 2 Chainz featuring Drake, No Lie, right? And Billboard gives it to Rick Ross. I'm sure there's some people out there that gave that to Titty Boy, aka 2 Chainz, without a shadow of a doubt. But I did think that Rick Ross came out the gate with a heater, fucking heater. What'd you say, Layla?
Yeah, but so did 2 Chainz, and I think that's what made the first round so freaking dope, that I was like really sitting here thinking, who in the hell am I gonna pick? And I couldn't, so I did a draw. I did a tie. Like, these are both records that cement them in hip hop history. So the fact that we have Blowing Money Fast and No Lie as round 1, I was like, all right, we'll see what's gonna happen. It seems like they're giving us their hot shit too early in the game, and we all know you gotta warm us up
very early. And then of course Rick Ross then goes to Every Day I'm Hustling, and 2 Chainz hit him with I'm Different. Yeah, I'm different. So a lot of people gave that a tie. I lean towards I'm Hustling. I lean towards Hustling, because I like the production of that versus I'm Different. You know, not to take away from Based on a True Story, but because I think that was one of his best albums. But I edged that one to Rick Ross. What about you?
Tie.
Tie?
And the fact that I started this versus with 2 ties in a row had me really nervous. I actually said, damn, Chainz may actually have a chance.
Exactly. Exactly. Which led me into like the next rounds. I'm concerned because at first I'm walking into this thing thinking there's no way Chainz can hold up. But then I had to remember, like, why do I like Rick Ross? I don't like Rick Ross because I hear him on the radio every day. I like Rick Ross because he can arrange a body of work in a way that a lot of artists cannot. He can choose production for his body of work that really gives you very good ebbs and flows, and it fills out the production very well. And his cadence and bars, literally, they're so symmetric with the production, and they have such great flow and technique. And he's in the pocket in such a smooth and elegant way that not a lot of artists can recreate. So when you get to like some of these next rounds where it's all about song choice, right? I'm like, well, Rick, you got to pick the best songs. And then he comes out and he picks this Lil Wayne song called John, which isn't a bad song per se, but 2 Chainz backs up with fucking Problems with Drake again and Kendrick Lamar on that track. Of course, 2 Chainz wins that. Hands down.
Easy. Yeah, absolutely agree. I think fucking Problems is also a song that's cemented in hip hop history. And you know what? And to be honest with you, like listening and viewing this versus battle helped me realize, damn, 2 Chainz was part of a lot of major songs. You know, and so when I saw fucking Problems as his choice of song, I said, oh, we gotta have Mercy coming up. We gotta have Problems with Rev the rapper, Chance the rapper. Like we just have to like. I was like, okay, now I think I know what I'm going to be expecting. So then we go into round 4, which Rick Ross dropped another bomb for me, which was featuring John Legend with Rich Forever. And then you had 2 Chainz with Spend It. I'm like, well, this is very easy for me because, okay, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but I don't care. So John Legend doesn't do it for me. Usually when John Legend is featured on a record, I'm like, The only one that I liked that he did recently was Higher with Nipsey and DJ Khaled. Other than that, when I see John Legend featured, I'm like, oh God, boring. What do you think?
So literally, I'm on the other side of that because I think the production on Rich Forever, and I think the DJ did it wrong, but the DJ blessed him and did him wrong at the same time. The production on Rich Forever is fucking phenomenal, but it's 3 minutes of this non-bass and or non 808s, no kicks until towards the last verse and bridge of the song, which is where the DJ cut the track at. So you got all this pad and melody on the front side, which is a lot of John Legend in that. So, and John Legend and Rick Ross just worked together on Rick Ross' last project on Maybach Music 5, which, mind you, none of them hoes showed up. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but we got no Maybach Music. And all of those are fucking fire. But that, I'll put a pin there. But going back to this, it wasn't so much that this was a bad track, because like I said, personally, I think the production on here is superb. I think what Rick Ross is saying on here is superb. But when you put it up against 2 Chainz Spend It, it's like 2 Chainz is like another plaque. Here you go. So you're getting hit with these hits that everybody knows. A lot of people don't know about Rich Forever because it was on Rick Ross's mixtape. So it's a problem. It's a fucking problem.
I mean, it can be a problem. But I also realized that in going into round 5 that Rick Ross played one of my favorite tracks, which I don't know if it aged well for me after listening to it, but I'm like, Diced Pineapples is literally one of my favorite tracks from Rick Ross, like top 10 of one of my favorite songs from him. And obviously it featured Wale and Drake, which we keep saying for a reason. And then we had 2 Chainz come in with Play a Circle back when he was Titty Boy, featuring Lil Wayne with Lil Duffel Bag Boy. Immediately, I was like, I went into this hearing Diced Pineapple saying this is going to win. But Duffel Bag Boy, I have to give it to that track. So for me, 2 Chainz absolutely won that, because I feel like not even that song for me was, because he was still Titty Boy on that song, right? Because right after that, he became 2 Chainz, if I'm not mistaken. So for me, it was like also a monumental moment for 2 Chainz being a rapper who had to reinvent himself to be taken more seriously on a completely different route of the lane that he was following with Titty Boy. And I feel like because of this Duffel Bag Boy song, it kind of helped him expand into this new persona, which we all know is 2 Chainz. So for me, knowing that, on top of that, I obviously gave this round to 2 Chainz. What about you?
No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And I think we saw this play out through the first half, right? So round 6, Rick Ross hit us with MC Hammer, which is a very hard track, but 2 Chainz comes back featuring Nicki Minaj with I Love Them Strippers, which is also a very hard track. And I think even I gave this to 2 Chainz, I gave this to Rick Ross. I think a lot of people gave this to Rick Ross because that MC Hammer track was so big. And I think that just came down to popularity. And even though this is, it's called Versus, I think a lot of people look at this as what was the hottest track that's being played versus what's the best verse in here, what's the best production in here. They're just simply saying what's the hottest track. Going down to round 7, you end up with Rick Ross, Chrisette Michele, and Drake. Ashton Martin music, which is a very interesting choice, versus 2 Chainz featuring Young Jeezy, Young Jeezy featuring 2 Chainz, because technically it's a Young Jeezy track, Super Freak. And all day, I love Rick Ross, but Super Freak is hard as fuck off that Young Jeezy 103 album. So like, 2 Chainz just had the best rebuttals in the first half of this fucking battle.
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like round 6 is where Rick Ross picked up for me, because Rick Ross won the next 1, 2, 3, 4 for me, 6 through 9. I feel like Rick Ross absolutely won Ashton Martin music, because to be honest with you, that was like a staple for a very long time. And I really thoroughly enjoyed that just as much as I did round 8 with Santorini, Greece. This album dropped out when I was in Europe, and I was actually, because I heard this album that this came off of, I was actually looking to go to Greece as my next stop after Rome. And I was just like, man, it just puts me into such a good place. Like, it just puts me back to that moment. And I think that's what music does. A lot of people will pick the song that resonates with them more, puts them in a happier mood, versus actually looking at who had the harder lyrics, which, you know, I think people like us, we can kind of decipher the two and be like, damn, this one gives me better memories, but this one did go hard. And in this situation, Santorini, Greece was both of those for me. I mean, going against Juicy J and Lil Wayne with Bands Will Make Good Dance, that's the strip club anthem. But for me, Santorini, Greece was just a whole vibe by itself.
No, I agree. I think Santorini, Greece was a great early onset for that album from Rick Ross. And that album, following up with a controversial track talking about Baby and how he did DJ Khaled and stuff. I think that those first 3 or 4 tracks from that album were phenomenal. The production alone on Santorini, Greece damn near beats every track that was in this verses for all 40 tracks. However, Bands That Make Her Dance is a staple. And I think I'm actually willing to, and I'm not a strip club person. Like that shit don't appeal to me. But when 2 Chainz brought out racks of fucking money and these strippers came out in the middle of verses, and I'm watching this shit on Apple TV, and I'm seeing these asses in the air, and this nigga's making it rain. I wish I had some money right now just to make it rain. I was like, you gotta be kidding. Who signed off on this? And then I immediately tweeted, I put it up in the IG post. I love our fucking culture because we're the only culture that can go super professional and build something from nothing in the midst of a pandemic and still get ratchet at the same goddamn time. Because strippers came out for the first time ever on Versus, and goddamn it, bands made her dance. Real fucking rap. And then of course, Rick Ross comes back, money's on the floor. He's like, shit, I'm a boss. Going up against 2 Chainz is Rich as Fuck, which another Lil Wayne track. And you know, we're starting to see the continuation of these features that are popping as fuck. Meek Mill is the I'm a Boss track, you know, featuring Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne's, this is his Rich as Fuck track featuring 2 Chainz, which I actually think was a good matchup going in around 9. And I would actually give this to Rich as Fuck over I'm a Boss, but I know a lot of people gave this to Rick Ross. How about you?
Absolutely, Rick Ross, I'm a Boss. Like, how can you not? Like, this is something that we've all, now this is a monumental song for a moment in time. Now as far as verses, I really like 2 Chainz verse in Rich as Fuck, but overall I have to go with Rick Ross, I'm a Boss, because he is a boss. I mean, you have 2 Chainz bringing out the strippers on Make Her Dance song, and then you have Rick Ross showing you why he's a boss, and you know, he has a masseuse come out and give him a massage in the middle of verses. Again, our culture is extra, too extra. Could we have missed that? Yes. But was it funny to see? Absolutely. It's just fun banter and humor between them. But then we go into round 10, and we have Rick Ross giving us a Jay-Z verse from Freemasons, and then 2 Chainz with For Real's Feds Watching. I'm not gonna tell you what I picked. I want you to tell me what you picked first.
So here's the thing. I think that whole Teflon Don album is fucking amazing.
Obviously, he thought so too.
I think it's a classic. This is one of his classic albums. God Forgives, I Don't. One of his classic albums because there's so much fire on that. And, you know, Tears of Joy, which comes up later, we'll talk about it. Freemason, which, you know, featuring Jay-Z. It's a staple. The problem is you put it up against, and then he gives us the story of Pharrell made this shit on the spot. You put this up against Feds Watching, which is hard as fuck. And I'm like 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz. Hard as hell. I just have to give it to him.
So you went 2 Chainz too? I did too. It's kind of like Freemasons. I mean, y'all gonna kill me, but whatever. I wasn't really feeling it when I first heard it years ago. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, it is what it is. But for real, I really don't know any song that Pharrell has produced or has been a voice on that's actually bombed. Yeah. And Feds Watching is a perfect example of that. Then you go into round 11 with Rick Ross featuring T-Pain with The Boss, with 2 Chainz featuring Quavo and Gucci Mane. I absolutely had to go into Rick Ross for this one. For round 11, I chose Rick Ross. Who did you choose? I'm assuming you chose 2 Chainz.
Well, so here's the thing. Round 11, The Boss. No. Rick Ross, easy. Easy.
Okay.
All around 11.
Mm-hmm.
Easy Rick Ross. So here's the thing. So this is normally where versus switches over, right? So that's the first half. Here's this last half of versus. Because normally at the round 11, and they had some mix-ups and shits, but whatever. But I feel like Rick Ross warmed up after verse 11. Excuse me, after round 10 going into round 11. So he hits us with The Boss. No chance. Round 12, he hits us with this iconic track with a not so popular Jay-Z album, right? That Holy Grail album, not so popular, but that Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It verse from Rick Ross is fucking iconic. Went up against 2 Chainz, Watch Out. I can't even remember that. But Rick Ross all fucking day, which then leads us. You see, I have to pause here because when this grown ass man decides to bring out a masseuse and get massaged in the mist and do a whole verse from his chair on this iconic, I'm gonna use the word again, Kanye West, my beautiful dark twisted fantasy Kanye West, aka old Kanye, Devil in a New Dress in round 13. I didn't even have to think about it. The track alone won that round for me. How did you feel about it?
Well, for round 12, Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It, featuring Watch Out, I made that one a tie because I fell in love with 2 Chainz video more than I would have Rick Ross either way. So I made that one a tie. Then going into round 13, I gave it to 2 Chainz.
What? You gave
Let me tell you why.
You wildin'. How does that happen?
My beautiful dark twisted fantasy is not one of my most favorite albums from Kanye. What? It is what it is, okay?
What?
It is what it is. I can't help it. I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Oh,
I really enjoyed Travis Scott with 2 Chainz on 4 a.m. I thought it was super dope. Devil in a New Dress, it just wasn't my vibe. I wasn't really feeling it. I don't even know if his verse was better than 2 Chainz on the 4 a.m. track. I just know that I wasn't really vibing with that when that first came out, and I'm still not vibing with it now. So I know that's a very unpopular opinion. A lot of people did choose Rick Ross, but I went with 2 Chainz, and I went with 2 Chainz again on round 14 when Rick Ross had CeeLo Green's Tears of Joy and 2 Chainz featuring Drake, Big Amount. I had to go with 2 Chainz on that one as well. Like, you just can't go wrong. It seems like a lot of the Drake features are the ones that won, it seems like, on here. And it also seems like Teflon Don, he damn near put the entire album on this verses. So I mean, I don't know what you picked for 14.
So 14, and I'm gonna kind of consolidate because I think we got into Tears of Joy for me is a the way the song opens is iconic. Talking with the whole, you've got the African American movement, and there's a leaders or a secret meeting, and they're telling you how to handle the police who are constantly degrading your Black body, right? So to open up with that for Tears of Joy, because that's the opening for that track, and to go into it, the song means so much more to me than Big Amount means to me. Like and going back to my BIPA, there's an impact value with Tears of Joy. And this is one of the reasons why I love Teflon Don as an album, because that Tears of Joy, Freemason, even that with Kanye West later, and I think it shows up, Live Fast, Die Young, like those songs, they hold so much weight for me. But I think you're spot on and you hit the head on the nail. Round 14, you see Drake show up. Round 15, you see Drake show up on both fucking tracks. The Ross featuring Drake and French Montana Stay Scheming, which did not need to be played. And Drake featuring Big Sean and 2 Chainz, All Me. Like, and then round 16, and with the Pop That, it's just so much Drake that I think that there becomes a problem when you're picking, and I'm assuming they're not sitting around the day of verses and they're picking what tracks they want to go. I feel like they're getting with their DJs a week before, 2 weeks before, and they're going through their discography, but you've got to leave wiggle room to call an audible. If I hear a song that features Drake, I'm not going to play a song that features Drake. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make a conscientious decision with my DJ within 30 seconds to play an alternate song, because I think that spoils the idea of a versus. How did you feel around this third quarter vibe for versus?
I absolutely agree with you 100%. I feel like they do need to have, I think for versus, there should be a couple of, qualifiers and whatnot. I feel like playing more than 4 or 5 tracks that are features should not be allowed. You should not play more than that, because really this is all about the artist. And this is why we have so much respect for J. Cole, or like Nas back in the day. Like, he had an entire album with no features. J. Cole does the same thing. It's like you give them a little bit more respect because they were able to hold a record on their own. This versus, if I conclude it all, to say that it shows that they needed some help along the way to have some hit records. And that doesn't take away from it, because we've all enjoyed it. But at the same time, in a versus battle, I would rather have seen their line of work versus a verse on someone else. I want that same energy that you give these other artists on their tracks to put it on your shit. Because in a versus battle, I really am just interested in you, not every other feature. And obviously, seeing this versus, it helped me realize that Drake really kind of is the GOAT. And that kills me to say that, because even in other verses that we've shown, a lot of people that played songs with the feature of Drake, they won that round as well. So it's kind of like, who is the real winner here? We went into Stay Scheming and All Me. I gave that to 2 Chainz. Then we go to round 16 with French Montana, Drake, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne's Pop That versus 2 Chainz with Trey Songz, Gene Aiko. It's a Vibe. That was hard for me because It's a Vibe is my shit. Obviously, I'm all about vibes. But I gave that one to Rick Ross. And it was just like song after song after song. It had more than one feature. And it was just so annoying being a fan of hip hop to see that on the verses. Round 17 was the one where I was like, I'm excited because we got No Problem with Chance, Lil Wayne, and 2 Chainz. But then, Drake and Rick Ross with DJ Khaled, I'm on One. Gave that to Rick Ross. Yep. I mean, it was a Drake feature. And then I go into, I'm not going to go into all, I'm just going to stop at 18. But 18, we have Rick Ross, I'm Not a Star with 2 Chainz and Kanye with Birthday Song. That one was hard for me because the birthday song is a staple that we all play or ask the DJ to play when we in the club for our friends when it's their birthday, right? Yep, but 2 Chainz got 2 birthday songs, so he's good. But I gave this one to Rick Ross. So again, like, it's a very close game. Who did you give it to on 17?
So I'm a bigger fan, even though the birthday song is a bigger song, I'm a bigger fan of, once again, Teflon Don, I'm Not a Star. That shit for me is phenomenal at round 18. And just to wrap this shit up, because I know we're getting close on time, for me, the last 2 choices of Rick Ross were not the best choices to end, whereas 2 choices for 2 Chainz were his records. And I'm thinking personally, Rick Ross, it's round 18. You haven't given me, you got a Maybach Music track with Jay-Z. You got a Maybach Music track with goddamn Jadakiss, with Kanye West. You've got a track with T.I. You've got a track with Neo. You got these Maybach music tracks with John Legend that are fucking phenomenal, with Lil Wayne that are phenomenal. Surely the last two choices is going to be two of the 5 Maybach musics. No, I get Mafia fucking music, and I get Rich Off of Cocaine, which is not a bad song, but it's you got better tracks that people can appreciate. And I'm just lost. I'm fucking lost at these choices.
I think that masseuse kind of, got him in a daze and told his DJ what to play next. I absolutely agree with you. Like around 19, I went 2 Chainz with Big Bank. The piano play on that record, the production is phenomenal. Absolutely fucking love it. And obviously, this was a conversation I had on my Layla E Facebook group a couple of months ago. Who had the better verse on Mercy? And between Kanye, Pusha T, Big Sean, and 2 Chainz. And obviously, most of us said 2 Chainz. And that was a good way to end round 20. And so I gave it to him. But I mean, like, I don't know what Ricky Rose was doing on that. I will say that it seems like, for me, the real winner, and let me not just say Drake, Lil Wayne and Drake are the real winners of the verses this time around. I will say that my final score was 2 Chainz won 9 off top. Rick Ross won 8. And there were 3 draws, 3 ties that I had. So I have 2 Chainz winning by 1, which I was not expecting going into this versus. So what was your final score?
I had 2 Chainz by 2. And I think with either maybe 2 draws, I think. But 2 Chainz plus 2 over Rick Ross, and had shit to do with discography. It had everything to do with hits and the song choices. I am totally disappointed at the song choices by Rick Ross. I am totally excited that he brought out a masseuse and did a shirt change. I'm totally excited that money was thrown and we had essential workers that got it in, masked up, essential workers. And I'm happy that the culture got an opportunity to witness these 2 artists go head to head, but it damn sure was not what I was expecting. Nowhere near.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's another one for the culture. It's another one in the books. I'm actually surprised that you were very close. You were just 1 off difference for mine, giving it to 2 Chainz. I think Rick Ross could have absolutely won this if he would have had 4 different choices. I mean, basically, this was Teflon Don album versus all of 2 Chainz's discography, and that may have been the problem, because Rick Ross has such a big discography that he had so much to choose from, and this was his opportunity to showcase the different levels that he can bring us with his music. And again, he chose Mafia music over the Maybach music, and I'm more of a fan of the Maybach music. I'm sorry, but this was still fun.
Yeah, it was. It was.
They set the bar.
Well, it damn sure was entertaining. So we'll see who does what next. Who knows? We might get some people. We may get some ladies getting pedicures and manicures during the set. I don't know what's gonna happen now, because I'm just saying, we don't know. We don't know. Somebody might get some. Like you don't know what might happen. They have set the bar high as fuck.
They did, but I want to say this note, that they were kind of dry. Like the energy wasn't there between them two the way that we saw with DMX and we saw with Snoop, or what we saw with Lil Jon and T-Pain. Yeah. For them to be in the room together, they were actually dry. What made it entertaining was the masseuse, the style change, and the strippers. I mean, other than that, it wasn't that entertaining for me, other than those 2 components. And I'm happy that they brought that in, because this would have been a very dry versus for me.
Yeah, but no, I agree. I'm ready for the next one. Yeah, same here. I don't think that they're not, what's the word I'm looking for? They are not as comical and open as a Snoop and DMX. So I think that actually having Rick Ross and 2 Chainz after that wasn't a good time, was not good timing. I think you should have had different artists because you're following up off of that shit, off of the Jada shit, which is hilarious. So you're following up off of people who are very charismatic. And not that Rick Ross doesn't have charisma, because he does. It's part of his overall aurora. Yeah. Same way with 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz has a particular charismatic nature about him, but it's not good for this format. And I don't think that these were the best 2 people for the follow-up. So I agree with you on that. And definitely, I think one of the best has been to T-Pain and Lil Jon. Like they were outstanding.
They said that
in their back-to-back with the stories. Like we were engaged in a way that felt more organic, I think, than this shit. So here we are, versus 2 Chainz, Rick Ross. Shout out to Swiss Timbo for all that y'all do. Thank y'all for this. Shout out to Meg. Shit, thank Cardi B for giving us this WAP, whatever that stands for. I'll let you decide. But it is what it is. Layla, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you. Let the good people know where they can reach you if they've got a follow-up for you.
You can find me in my IG, okay? Layla_E1. And again, that's on all social media platforms. Twitter, it's Layla_E. I'm getting back into that again. Let's see how long that lasts. And of course, don't forget to follow the entire squad at Boom Bap Official, because we be giving you that official shit.
Yes, indeed. Official all the time. And of course, you can find me anywhere online: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Pornhub. Strippers may or may not be there. Who knows? At G Hawkins, that's G Hawkins. As Layla said, Boom Bap Official. And if we don't tell y'all shit else, because we could do this over remote with both of us. I'm gonna tell y'all shit else. Remember this: rap
minus
lies
equals
hip hop.
And that's that Boom Bap.
We'll see y'all next time, folks. Peace.